3, 2, 1.
Hi, welcome back to Show Me Trucks. In this video, I'll work on some more details of the 36 GMC back here. My main issue is getting the computer parameters all set up and everything running. So, hook up HP tuners and a couple little modifications I had to do to the engine to get it to work right. Let's get into it. The MAF sensor was giving me issues being right on top of the throttle body, even though that's how it was before, on a different intake. There are a lot of other factors that could be contributing to that, including the filter regulator affects how your computer adjusts your fuel injectors because it's constant 59 psi instead of vacuum regulated fuel rails. So that kind of messes with your injectors. So if I would have had a tune, maybe, but I'm messing with the tune anyway, so I'm getting rid of it. So what that does is that because the MAF sensor is not on there with all the other hose clamps and things, that drops that probably 5 inches at least. My air cleaner base that I made, I ended up cutting this off. This also was probably giving me issues because the air was kind of having to run over. The top of the air cleaner is pretty close, so it kind of had to run over. Kind of weird. So, in the end, this is probably better. So what I'm going to do is, I have this thicker gauge. I know this kind of has this flange in it for structure because it's thinner, but I'm not using that. This thicker gauge will work. I might go get a hole saw today, a 5-inch hole saw that, and then just weld it to the outside of here. That was kind of a pain to get on. I did use the Delmo gasket they provided, and it is tight as tight can get. This is a temp sensor that is going to ride up in here and measure, you know, how hot or cold the air is coming into your intake. Well, this is the stuff you get to do, and I really don't have enough spare metal laying around, so, you know, just welded this piece on. Obviously, I gotta draw the arch, but I'm gonna grind that all flush. And I couldn't get a hole saw at the store. They either had 4.5 or 6, and they're expensive enough. I'm not gonna buy a 4.5 and then do all that work. So hopefully next time I go to the big town, I will look for a 5-inch hole saw. If not, that sucks. Because I'll have to do a lot of work to get that hole nice. All I did was I welded that all the way around. I didn't even weld the backside. It's good enough penetration. Obviously, it's an air cleaner. I don't expect it to be too crazy. So I'm gonna grind that down just a little, just to make sure everything looks decent, especially on the backside. That's how she looks whenever the adapter's right on top of the throttle body. Which, now knowing that, I was doing this, I didn't need to tap into the throttle body. I could have just ran it right into the bottom air cleaner because it's just feeding it. It's supposed to feed it after the MAF sensor. That's why I did it like that. But obviously no MAF sensor now. So this is how that turned out. You know, nothing to write home about. But I need to paint it. But it's going to go on like this. It's right over. My air temp sensor is going to be right there. And then my air cleaner is going to go on. And instead of, it was dumping out above the alternator before, and now I'm just going to have it right behind this coolant overflow. But obviously it sits down lower now, so you don't see all those hose clamps before, so it actually does look better. And if you look, it's probably a good 3 inches lower because it was sitting above the alternator. So the only thing I still need to do is obviously paint it, but I need to put a longer all thread in there. That way I can clamp it all down. So no big deal. I didn't even have to change my air filter, which is nice. You know, it's still the same height here to here. It's just gonna have way better flow too, instead of it trying to ramp up over the top and down in. I know that was a horrible explanation. It can just run straight in. So hopefully the airflow dynamics are better. You know, like I need more torque or anything, but hopefully when I go to tune it, it's not too horrible. And the nice thing is, if I ever need a throttle body and I'm on the road, you know, I could just throw a regular throttle body on and then just drill a hole in the base plate. So no big deal. And that also kind of hides the wiring a little bit better, in my opinion. Working on the 36 today. This is the intake air temp. So I just cut the wires off here, off the MAF plug, ran it over. I'm kind of just leaving that there for now until I run this and make sure everything's okay. It's a little confusing trying to figure out your wiring over here because there's a million different sources of information and they're all fairly similar, but a little bit different. So the black and tan seem to be the one. So we'll see if I got the right ground wire or not. Trying to button up everything before Hershey and Carlisle. So let's get into it. If you've never seen these, gas gauge is off. And I kind of did it that way on purpose. I put a bigger wire in because I knew I was going to do it like this. Because these are variable resistors. Instead of just running an inline resistor, I wanted to be able to adjust it. So there's 3 prongs. The 2 outsides, you know, your wire going back to your cinder in your gas tank runs on your 2 outside, and then the inside one, middle, is your ground. And whenever you adjust the knob, that adjusts how much resistance is in your line. So these are pretty simple. And I wasn't exactly sure where I was going to put it, but I ended up putting it up by the gas gauge. And I know it's going to be dark in here because I broke all my lights. But my gas gauge is in here. And so obviously the wiring is in there. And so what I did is up in here, I put that little knob. And whenever you turn the knob, you can adjust how much resistance is in it, which adjusts your gas gauge. And then what I also made is this little cap. This is some kind of like plumbing cap. I modified it because once I get that set, I want to screw this over. That way, if someone's digging under there, they don't bump that knob and then your gas gauge is off. And if you're not paying attention, you don't know how much gas is in your tank, then it'd be really hard to figure it out later. I'm sure you could, but it'd be really hard. And the reason that I wanted mine adjustable is because my tank is not baffled. So what I'm going to do is it's a 14-gallon tank. And instead of using all 14, I'm going to set my gas gauge like 4 gallons is empty. That way, hopefully, you never run it below empty. And that way, you always have some gas in there. That way, your pickup can always pick up some gas. And it also helps to not overheat your fuel pump. So gas gauge, hook the battery back up. So it should be moving, but whenever I adjust this knob over here, see if I find it. See, I can adjust my tank. And right now I have 7 gallons in, which will be if that works, a little over a quarter tank. You know, you would think 10 gallons is a full tank. So 3 would be about a third. So I'm going to fine tune that a little bit, and then I'm going to put that over the top of it. But obviously I need to play with it a little bit and make sure once I put some more gas in that it's the sweep is all correct. All right, well, I'm going to wrap up this video. I have to do some computer work, and if you don't know me, this is my least favorite thing to do. I finally got the HV tuners to start working on my Mac. I got the MPVI 3, so I need to hook it up, some parameters in the computer, and hopefully that fixes everything. I know there'll be some tuning I'll have to do with the speed density. Luckily, it's raining all week, so I'll be crunched at the end of the week to get some drive time on this so I can work on it. It might not 100% be ready. Hopefully it's running. Obviously, I really need it running for Carlisle and Hershey just to get it into the swap meet spot in general. I'm going to have it for sale, but obviously it'll be pending a little bit of paperwork and working on the tune. Obviously I want it really nice running for whoever buys it. So I know it's crazy dark in the truck right now, but this is why you guys hate LS swaps. I got a stupid laptop in my truck that has wood floors and wood in the A-pillars. You know, old looks but new technology. Hopefully this goes good. I'll let you know when my truck's on fire later on or my computer blows up. Thanks for watching.